Brok Shabbat Yom, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans the West, to the four corners of the earth scattered greetings. This Shabbat lesson we're going to title Yahusha Road on the Ground. Yahusha Road on the Ground, brothers and sisters. Right? For those with eyes to see it, Yahusha's finger of Eliyahu. For those with eyes to see, Yahusha, finger of Eliyahu. Language and action indicates that he was the same Eliyahu who wrote the law on the stone tablets and was therefore, as Eliyahu himself, the only one to judge human hearts, brothers and sisters. It has long been a mystery what Yahusha wrote on the ground the day the scribes and Pharisees dragged an adulterous woman before him. So let's look at Yachanan 8, 3-11. Yachanan 8, 3-11, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, to look at the screen, Yachanan 8, 3-11. That's Yachanan 8, 3-11. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken into adultery. Now, when the scribes and Pharisees brought the woman, right, before the Mashiach, they only brought the woman. You see, brothers and sisters. And in that situation, they were altering the law to convict the woman. But this is what Yahusha says, right? This is what the scripture says. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. So you see, right away you see they altered the law. The scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, that's how the scripture, that's how the Mashiach call them, hypocrites. You know what I mean? Woe unto you hypocrites. So they altered the law and brought only the woman for the Mashiach. As if the woman alone could commit adultery. She need a partner. Namely the opposite sex. The opposite sex. The opposite sex. They say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moshe in the law commanded us that such should be stoned, but what say thou? This they say, tempting him that they might have to accuse him. But Yahusha stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto him, He that is without sin, right? So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground, and they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest even unto the last. And Yahusha was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Yahusha had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where art thou thine accusers? Had no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Adonai. And Yahusha said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Okay, brothers, what did Yahusha wrote on the ground? The scribes and Pharisees had demanded that Yahusha sentence a woman to death as taught in Leviticus 20 and 10. So we're going to look at that, brothers, so you can see what the law says. Okay, brothers and sisters, look at the screen. Let's look at what the law said in Leviticus 20 and 10. And the man that committed adultery, and the man that committed adultery, and the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. You see that both of them should be put to death. But you see what they say, what the scribes and Pharisees, the hypocrites, says in John? Look what they said in John 8, 3 and 11. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman, one singular person. So right there, they altered the law to entrap the Mashiach, not knowing that the Mashiach is the son of Eliyahu himself. Brothers and sisters? They say a woman taken in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery. No mention of the man, but the woman. So right there, they altered the law to entrap the Mashiach and to condemn this woman. Scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. You see the same scribes and Pharisees in the so-called Christian churches, the temples, the synagogues, the mosques, all the places that they gather. You got scribes and Pharisees in the midst thereof. And the people love to have it so. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's continue examining the law. Dafrahim, Deuteronomy 22 to 24. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. Dafrahim 22 to 24. If a man be found lying with a woman, if a man be found lying with a woman, if a man be found lying with a woman, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. So you see that in Leviticus. I see it in Dafrahim. The law is clear. Both of them shall be put to death if they're found in the act. But here in John, the hypocrites, scribes and Pharisees, only accuse the woman. So again, right there that they alter the law, because we just read in the law, in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, that both of them, man and woman, shall be put to death. So let's continue reading that for him. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shall thou put away evil from Israel. So you see, the Most High consider adultery evil. Why is it evil? Because it brings division between the man and woman and destroy a family and bring hatred among each other and even lead to death. That's pure wickedness, brothers and sisters. This is why we have so much problem in the world today, because no one, especially among our people, our women, so-called black people, our women are rebellious and out of order. They don't want to listen, and that's going to be their destruction and downfall. And the men are effeminate. These men out here, they have no type of leadership. They have no type of masculinity. No fear of Eliyahu, no knowledge of themselves. You see, they refuse to search out the matter and seek out who they are as royal people of the house of Israel. If only they would come back to the Most High and keep His commandments and live. And if only our women would stray away and flee from all manner of religion, all promiscuity, all sexual deviancy. You know what I mean? All manner of lewdness and lavishousness. You understand? And come back to your royal self. Oh, if my people will stop having sex out of wedlock and stop having children in condition that is not suitable for rearing child. We need both parents in this time, man and woman, to raise a child, because times are hard, brothers and sisters. And the scripture said 2 heads are better than one. 2 heads are better than one, brothers and sisters, because you have each other to lean on. So again, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shall thou be put away evil from Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then he shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city. So the husband who is betrothed to the virgin, and another man take her, the husband shall take both of them, and bring them both out to the gate of that city, and he shall stone them with stones, that they die. The damsel, because she cried not. That's the key. The damsel that she cried not. If she did not cry out, and she accept what happened to her, both of them shall die. But if she cry out, that means she's crying out for help. That means she's drawing attention to her being attacked. Then she will be spared and the man will die. Hmm? Hmm? Being in the city and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. Then he shall bring them both out to the gate of thy city, and he shall stone them with stones, that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you, brothers and sisters. At this scenario, brothers and sisters, if Yahusha had said to stone her, they would have charged him with hypocrisy, because he was always teaching about mercy. If he said not to stone her, they would have charged him with breaking the Mosaic law. Spotting their trick, he stooped down and wrote something on the ground. And then proceed to write something else on the ground, after which they dropped their stones and walked away, brothers and sisters. So, your natural question is, what did the Mashiach wrote on the ground? What did Yahusha wrote on the ground, brothers and sisters? We're going to examine that in Jeremiah 17 and 13. Jeremiah 17 and 13, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at this. Jeremiah 17 and 13. O Yahuwah, the hope of Israel, and all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken Yahusha, the fountain of living waters. O Yahuwah, the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they that forsake Yahusha, the fountain of living waters. They are forsaking the fountain of water, brothers and sisters. Let that sink in. So by looking at Jeremiah 17 and 13, you would come to some type of conclusion that the Mashiach wrote the scribes and Pharisees, named the hypocrites in the dust, and wrote the sin right next to their names, brothers and sisters. Right? That's why they were in shock. You know what I mean? And drop their stone and walk away. Only Eliyahu, the living Eliyahu, can do these things, because he know the thought before the thought. He know the sin. He judged the heart and reigns. He created the heart, brothers and sisters. So Yahusha exposed them. They walk away. The scribes and Pharisees, the hypocrites, in shame and frustration. You see, he being Yahuwah, he being Elohim. He knew what was in their hearts. Right? Let's look at 1 Chronicles 28 and 9. Okay, brothers, this is 1 Chronicles 28 and 9. This is to the effect of the all-knowing and all-seeing of Yahusha. And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the Eliyahu of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind, for Yahuwah searcheth all hearts. And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the Eliyahu of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind, for Yahuwah searcheth all hearts. And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the Eliyahu of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind, for Yahuwah searcheth all hearts, and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee, but if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. Let's look at another. Matthew 12 and 25, speaking to the all-knowing and all-seeing of Yahusha. And Yahusha knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Talking to the scribes and Pharisees, the hypocrites. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's look at another scripture that speaks to Yahusha, all known and all seen. Matthew 22:16 to 18 is on the screen. Matthew 22:16 to 18. And they sent out unto him their disciples and with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teachest the way of Eliyahu in truth, neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Hence what the scripture said, Yahuwah is a respecter of none. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahusha perceived their wickedness and said, Why temptest ye me, hypocrites? Let's go to another one, brothers and sisters. Yachanan 2 and 25. Okay, brothers, is on the screen. Yachanan 2:25. And needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. Speaking to Mashiach, all-knowing, all-seeing, sovereignty over his own creation. First Corinthians, Rishon Corinthians 14 and 25 is on the screen, brothers and sisters. And thus are the secrets of his heart made manifest, and so falling down on his face, he will worship Eliyahu and report that Eliyahu is in you of a truth, brothers and sisters. Speaking to the all-seeing and all-knowing and the might of Yahusha, who is Eliyahu and the son of Eliyahu himself. So according to the Venerable Bidi, as well as St. Augustine, when Yahusha wrote on the ground with his finger, he was hearkening back to the time on Mount Sinai when he had written the 10 Commandments on stone tablets with his fingers. Shemot 32:15 to 16. Take a look at the screen. Okay, brothers, says Shemot Exodus 32:15 to 16. And Moshe turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 tablets of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written, and the tables were the work of Eliyahu, and the writing was the writing of Eliyahu graven upon the tables, brothers and sisters. So Yahusha is the one, brothers and sisters, that is the author and fulfills the law. He was the only one can do that, brothers and sisters. Remember, he was the Word. He is the Word. And the Word was with Eliyahu. And the Word was Eliyahu himself, brothers and sisters. So he was always with the Father. He was always there with the Father from the beginning. From before the earth exists. For we know life as itself exists. Yahusha was there with his Father. In other words, the same finger that had written the law back then was also the finger that was written on the ground. Now, therefore, since he was the author of the law, he was the one to properly interpret and execute it, brothers and sisters. Wouldn't that be common sense, brothers and sisters? Would that be far-fetched? Okay, brothers and sisters, on your screen, Shemot Exodus 31:18. Right? And he gave unto Moshe, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the fingers of Eliyahu. So this is the same finger that wrote on the ground before the scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. Is the same finger that wrote on the stone tablets the laws given to Moshe, the 10 Commandments, and that is also the same finger that terrified Belshazzar. Is the same finger that terrified Nebuchadnezzar, son Belshazzar, who defied the Mashiach and his holy instrument and utensils used to worship the Most High in the temple that he built. Okay, brothers and sisters, here's another one. That Rahim, Deuteronomy 9 and 10. And Yahuwah delivered unto me 2 tablets of stone, written with the fingers of Eliyahu, and on them was written according to all the words which Yahuwah spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Yahusha Mashiach, brothers and sisters, always there with his Father. He represents his Father. The Father is in him, and he is in the Father. You see, he comes in his Father's name. I am who save. I am who is salvation. I am he who saves, brothers. It's in his name. What is his name and what is his son's name, if those can tell? Huh? So additionally, being the one who was soon to receive the penalty for the sins of the adulterous woman upon himself, he had every right to extend grace and mercy to her. It is interesting to know that in Luke 11:20, Yahusha referred to the finger of Eliyahu when he drove the demon out of a man who could not speak. The crowd had accused him of driving the demon out by the power of Beelzebub, the prince of demons. In response, for those with eyes to see it, Yahusha finger of Eliyahu language indicated that he was the same Eliyahu who wrote the law on the stone tablets and was therefore Eliyahu himself, brothers and sisters. So we should know that because Eliyahu had created man out of the dust, and since he had come to write the law on people's heart, his people's heart, the believers, it is likely that when he wrote on the ground that day in the presence of the scribes and Pharisees, he had in a sense written the supreme call to mercy. In the dust, he sends the message that those who refuse mercy will not receive mercy. And be merciful just as your Father is merciful. That allows us to circle back to see one final message to scribes and Pharisees judged righteously. The scripture did not say you cannot judge your brothers and sisters, but judge righteously. Take the beam out of your eye so you can see clear before you judge another. So make sure your house is in order so you can judge others based on the law. That is the ultimate fulfillment of the law, Yahusha, and you keeping the commandments. Corinthians 3:3. Okay, brothers, says on your screen, 2 Corinthians 3:3. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Mashiach, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the spirit of the living Eliyahu, not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart. So that means the Mashiach physically wrote the law himself with his own finger. The law is still present. The law cannot change. The law will not be removed. The law is forever. But in this time now, he write the law in our hearts, bring it back to our memory. The Ruach HaKodesh will bring us back in remembrance of the law and help us to keep the law. That's what it means. The law now is written in our hearts. It's a part of our flesh. So hear what the scripture said. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of the Mashiach ministered by us. So the law was ministered to you through the epistle, through the apostles. Written not with ink, but with the spirit of the living Eliyahu. So it's the Ruach HaKodesh that the Father sent through the Holy Son Yahusha that we're going to teach us these things. That's going to be written, or he's going to write it on our hearts. But in the fleshly tables of the heart. So shall it be written. Brothers and sisters? So I hope you understand the Shabbat lesson is a very short one, but to the point. You understand? Yahusha wrote on the ground. You can also do more research and studies on this yourself, brothers and sisters, So on that note, Baruch Yahweh, what is about? Baruch Yahusha Mashiach, Shina, Vishina, blessed love and shalom.